Have you ever noticed how the people who react the least seem to have the most control? Think about the strongest, most influential individuals, leaders, thinkers, visionaries. They don't waste energy reacting to every little thing. They don't let their emotions dictate their actions. Instead, they master the art of self-control, and because of that, they control their lives. Now, imagine if you had that same power. Imagine walking into any situation, chaos, criticism, negativity, and instead of losing yourself in emotion, you remain calm, composed, untouchable. What would that do for your confidence, your decisions, your success? By the end of this video, you'll have a powerful mindset shift that will change the way you deal with life forever. Stay until the end, because what you're about to learn will separate you from the majority of people who react and regret, while you rise above and take control. The illusion of strength in reacting. Most people believe that reacting instantly is a sign of strength. They think raising their voice, arguing, or showing their emotions proves they are powerful. But in reality, it's the opposite. When you react without thinking, you are exposing your biggest weakness, your inability to control yourself. Reacting is easy. Anyone can get angry, complain, or lash out when things don't go their way. But it takes a different kind of person to pause, observe, and respond with intention. That's real strength. That's power. Because the moment you stop reacting to everything, you put yourself in control. Why we react, the psychology behind emotional triggers. The reason people react so quickly is simple. The mind is wired for survival. From an evolutionary standpoint, reacting to threats helped humans stay alive. When faced with danger, the brain triggers an automatic response: fight, flight, or freeze. But in today's world, most of what we react to isn't life-threatening: a rude comment, an insult, a difficult situation. None of these things are actual threats to our survival, but our brain still treats them like they are. So what happens? We react instantly, without thinking. And in doing so, we let the outside world dictate our inner state. We give away our peace, our focus, and our power to things that don't deserve it. The secret of those who stay calm: look at the people who command true respect. The ones who walk into a room and instantly gain attention, not because they are loud, but because they are composed. They don't rush to speak. They don't argue over every small issue. Instead, they observe, listen, and when they do respond, their words carry weight. Why? Because self-control is a rare trait. In a world full of impulsive reactions, the one who remains unshaken becomes the most powerful person in the room. The less you react, the more people start to respect you, and the more control you have over any situation. The power of holding back. Think about this. Every time you react emotionally, you are handing someone else the remote control to your mind. If they can trigger you, they can control you. If they can make you angry, frustrated, or desperate for validation, they own you. But when you refuse to react, something shifts. You break the cycle. You stop letting external events dictate your emotions. You start choosing your responses instead of letting them be chosen for you, and this is where true control begins. How to master self-control? Pause before you respond. When something triggers you, take a deep breath. Give yourself a moment before you say or do anything. The longer you wait, the more control you regain. Detach from the emotion. Remind yourself that your emotions are temporary. Just because you feel anger or frustration doesn't mean you have to act on it. Emotions are visitors. Observe them, but don't let them control you. Reframe the situation. Instead of seeing challenges as personal attacks, view them as tests of your discipline. Every situation is an opportunity to practice self-mastery. Choose silence over reaction. Sometimes, the most powerful response is no response at all. When you refuse to react, you take away the other person's power over you. Stay focused on the bigger picture. Ask yourself, will this matter in a day, a week, a year? Most things aren't worth your energy. Save your reactions for what truly matters. Final thoughts. The ultimate control. At the end of the day, self-control isn't about suppressing emotions. It's about mastering them. It's about choosing how you respond instead of being controlled by impulses. The more you practice this, the more powerful you become. Because here's the truth. The less you react, the more you control. Control your emotions. and you control your life. Stay until the end of this video because in the next sections, you'll learn exactly how to apply this principle in every area of your life so you can rise above the noise, take back your power, and become truly unstoppable. Most people don't react because they choose to. They react because they can't help it. Their emotions take over before logic even has a chance to step in. It happens in a split second. Someone says something offensive, something unexpected happens, and without thinking, they explode. Why? Because their mind is programmed to react. From a young age, most people are conditioned to believe that reacting instantly is normal. They see others get angry, shout, or panic, and they follow the same pattern. The brain learns that reacting emotionally is the natural response to discomfort, and over time, this habit becomes automatic. But here's the truth. Instant reactions are a sign of weakness, not strength. They reveal emotional immaturity, a lack of discipline, and an inability to control one's own mind. Powerful people don't operate like this. They don't let emotions dictate their actions. They don't give in to every impulse. Instead, they pause, think, and respond with purpose. The human brain has two parts that battle for control: the emotional brain and the logical brain. The emotional brain reacts first. It feels threatened, so it fires back immediately. But the logical brain, the part that sees the bigger picture, takes longer to process. That's why when people react instantly, they often regret it later. They say things they don't mean, they make poor decisions, and once the damage is done, they can't take it back. But the few who pause before reacting tap into something greater. They allow their logical brain to take control. They understand that reacting isn't a requirement, it's a choice, and when they choose not to react, they gain the upper hand. Because in the end, the one who stays calm in chaos, who doesn't let small things break their focus, that's the person who truly holds the power. Every time you react impulsively, you pay a price that most people don't even realize until it's too late. It's not just about saying the wrong thing in the heat of the moment. It's about something much deeper, the damage it does to your mind, your relationships, and your future. When you overreact, you lose respect. People stop taking you seriously. They see you as unstable, someone who can be easily manipulated. If your emotions are easy to trigger, others will use that against you. They know they can control you simply by pushing the right buttons. And once you become predictable, you become weak in their eyes. Overreacting also destroys your inner peace. Have you ever noticed how exhausting it is to constantly be on edge? To react to every little thing? Your mind becomes a battlefield, constantly fighting, constantly stressed. You waste energy on things that don't matter. You lose focus on what truly does. And then there's the biggest cost of all, the damage to your own self-control. Every time you react impulsively, you strengthen the habit of emotional weakness. The more you do it, the harder it becomes to stop. Your mind gets used to reacting instead of thinking. And over time, you lose the ability to pause, reflect, and choose your response. But the opposite is also true. Every time you hold back, every time you stay calm when others expect you to lose control, you strengthen a new habit, the habit of power. You train your mind to rise above emotions. You build discipline, and eventually, you become the kind of person who cannot be broken, no matter what happens around you. Because here's the truth. Control isn't taken, it's given away. And the moment you stop overreacting, you take it back. Most people believe that reacting instantly gives them control. They think that if they argue louder, respond faster, or show more emotion, they will dominate the situation. But this is an illusion, one that keeps them trapped in a cycle of weakness. The truth is, when you react emotionally, you are not in control. You are being controlled. Your emotions dictate your actions. The situation dictates your behavior, and the people around you, whether they realize it or not, are pulling the strings. Think about it. When someone insults you and you react with anger, who really won? You may feel like you defended yourself, but in reality, they succeeded in getting inside your head. They stole your peace. They made you act on their terms. The more you react, the more you reinforce the idea that your emotions are in someone else's hands. But when you refuse to react, something changes. Suddenly, the other person has no control over you. Their words lose power. Their actions become meaningless. And instead of being controlled, you become the one who sets the tone. True control isn't about dominating others. It's about mastering yourself. The most powerful people in the world aren't the ones who shout the loudest or react the fastest. They are the ones who remain calm when others lose control. The ones who don't waste energy on meaningless battles. The ones who choose their responses with precision. Because when you master your reactions, you master your life. And when you stop reacting to everything, the world starts reacting to you. Staying calm isn't just about looking composed on the outside. It's about training your mind to remain unshaken, no matter what happens around you. And the secret to this lies in understanding how your brain reacts to stress. When faced with pressure, the brain's emotional center, the amygdala, fires up, pushing you to react instantly. This was useful for survival in ancient times when quick reactions meant life or death. But in the modern world, this instinct often works against you. Instead of protecting you, it makes you impulsive. It blinds you with emotion. It forces you to act before thinking. But there is another part of your brain, the prefrontal cortex, that is responsible for logic, reasoning, and control. This is the part that leaders, strategists, and high achievers strengthen over time. The more you train yourself to pause before reacting, the stronger this part of your brain becomes. And the stronger it becomes, the easier it is to stay calm under pressure. Here's the key. Every time you resist the urge to react, you are rewiring your brain. You are creating new mental pathways that make calmness your default response. Instead of letting emotions take over, you give yourself the power to see clearly, think rationally, and respond with intelligence. The difference between those who stay calm and those who don't is simple. One is in control of their mind. The other is controlled by it. And in a world where most people live at the mercy of their emotions, the ability to remain calm is a superpower. Because when you are calm, you make better decisions. You see through manipulation. You hold the upper hand in any situation. And most importantly, you become the one who influences the world rather than being influenced by it. Most people are slaves to their emotions. They feel something and they act on it immediately, without question. But those who understand the power of emotional detachment move differently. They don't get caught up in the storm of emotions. They step back, they observe. And because of that, they remain in control. Emotional detachment doesn't mean you don't feel anything. It means you don't let those feelings control you. It means you create a gap between what happens and how you respond. That gap is where your power lies. Think about it. When you react emotionally, you are predictable. People know exactly what buttons to press to make you angry, anxious, or desperate for validation. But when you are emotionally detached, nothing phases you. Someone insults you, you don't take it personally. A situation goes wrong, you don't panic. Instead, you stay grounded, clear-headed, and focused. This is why emotional detachment is one of the most powerful mental skills you can develop. It allows you to move through life without being controlled by external forces. You stop being reactive and start being intentional. You don't waste energy on things that don't matter. You don't let emotions dictate your decisions. And the best part? When you detach, you gain leverage. In arguments, the one who stays calm always holds the upper hand. In business, the one who isn't emotionally attached to outcomes makes the smartest choices. In life, the one who doesn't let emotions cloud their judgment always wins. Because the moment you stop letting emotions pull you in every direction, you become unshakable. And when you are unshakable, nothing and no one can control you. Most people feel the need to respond to everything. They argue, defend, explain, and prove their point, believing that words equal power. But real power isn't in speaking, it's in silence. Silence is misunderstood. People think staying quiet makes them weak. But the truth is, silence is one of the greatest weapons of control, because when you don't react, you force the other person to question themselves. You make them uncomfortable. You create mystery and dominance without saying a single word. Think about it. When someone insults you and you say nothing, what happens? They lose their power. They expect a reaction, but when they don't get one, their words lose meaning. They realize they can't control you, and that realization frustrates them more than any response ever could. Silence makes you unpredictable. People don't know what you're thinking, and that alone gives you the upper hand. When you stop reacting to nonsense, you show the world that you are on a different level, unaffected, untouchable, above the noise. But silence isn't just about ignoring negativity. It's also about knowing when to speak. The more selective you are with your words, the more powerful they become. When you finally do speak, people listen. Because they know if you're saying something, it must be important. This is why the strongest, most influential people don't waste their energy arguing over small things. They observe more, react less, and control everything without needing to prove anything. Because in the end, the one who stays silent holds the real power, while everyone else wastes theirs by reacting. Most people live their entire lives trapped by the opinions of others. They react to criticism, seek approval, and change themselves just to fit in. But those who understand true power don't operate this way. They don't react to opinions. They don't chase validation. They stay rooted in their own self-worth. The need for validation is one of the biggest reasons people lose control. When you care too much about what others think, you become emotionally vulnerable. A compliment lifts you up. A criticism tears you down. You're no longer in control of your own emotions. Other people are. But the moment you stop seeking approval, everything changes. You no longer feel the urge to defend yourself. You no longer explain your choices. You no longer react when someone disagrees with you. Instead, you move with quiet confidence, knowing that your value isn't determined by outside opinions. The truth is, most opinions don't matter. People judge based on their own insecurities, their own biases, their own limited understanding. And if you let their words control you, you'll never live for yourself. You'll only live to please others. Detachment from opinions isn't about arrogance, it's about freedom. When you stop reacting to praise or criticism, you gain something most people never experience: peace of mind. You no longer need permission to be who you are. You no longer need validation to feel worthy, and that is real power. Because the less you need from others, the more control you have over yourself. Instant reactions feel powerful in the moment, but in reality they make you look weak. When you respond too quickly, people see you as impulsive, emotional, and easy to manipulate. But when you delay your response, when you take time to think before you speak, you create an entirely different effect. You command respect. Why? Because silence before speaking signals strength. It shows that you are not controlled by urgency or emotion. It tells the world that you process information carefully, that your words are intentional, and that you are not easily provoked. Notice how the most respected people in any room rarely rush to respond. They pause, they listen, they allow tension to build, and when they finally speak, their words carry weight. People listen because they know it's worth listening to. But when you react too quickly, you give away your power. You show that you are emotionally driven rather than strategically minded. Quick reactions often lead to regret, unnecessary conflict, and wasted energy. You say things you don't mean. You defend yourself when you don't need to. You let the world dictate your emotions instead of controlling them yourself. Delaying your response doesn't mean ignoring people. It means choosing the right moment to speak. It means controlling your timing, your energy, and your influence. When you master this, you automatically shift how people perceive you. Because in every interaction, the one who controls the pace controls the conversation. And the one who controls the conversation controls the outcome. In every situation, there are two types of people: those who control their emotions and those who are controlled by them. The first group leads, the second group follows. The first group influences, the second group reacts. And the difference between the two is the ability to remain composed under pressure. Emotional control isn't about suppressing feelings, it's about mastering them. It's about understanding that your first reaction is often the worst reaction. That the strongest person isn't the one who shouts the loudest, but the one who stays calm when others lose control. Why is this so powerful? Because the moment you remain composed in a situation where others expect you to break, you gain the psychological advantage. People instinctively respect those who don't let emotions overpower them. They see you as unshakable, as someone who operates on a higher level. But when you react impulsively, you give that power away. You show that you can be triggered, that you can be thrown off balance, that you are just as emotionally unstable as everyone else. And once people see this, they will use it against you. Emotional control gives you leverage in every area of life. In business, in relationships, in conflict. It allows you to think clearly when others panic. It helps you make decisions based on logic, not impulse. And most importantly, it keeps you in control of yourself. Because in a world where most people are ruled by their emotions, those who master their minds always rise to the top. Nothing weakens a person more than being too emotionally invested in everything. The need to prove, to defend, to be understood. It all drains energy. But those who master the art of indifference become untouchable. Indifference doesn't mean you don't care about anything. It means you choose what deserves your energy and what doesn't. It means you refuse to be disturbed by things that don't add value to your life. Because the moment something controls your emotions, it controls you. Think about it. If someone insults you and you react with anger, who won? Not you. You just gave them proof that their words have power over you. But if you remain indifferent, if you show them their words mean nothing, you win. Not by fighting, but by showing that you are above it. Indifference is what separates the strong from the weak. Weak people need constant validation. They need attention, approval, and reassurance. But the strong, they move in silence. They don't beg to be understood, but they don't waste time proving their worth. They let their actions speak. When you stop reacting to negativity, people start respecting you. They start seeing you as someone who can't be played, someone who can't be pulled into pointless drama. And over time, they learn that you are the one in control, not them. Because in the end, the person who needs nothing from others, no validation, no reaction, no approval, is the person who holds the ultimate power. Emotional control isn't something you're born with. It's something you train. Just like a muscle, the more you exercise it, the stronger it becomes. The key is to rewire your mind so that calmness becomes your default state. The first step is awareness. Most people don't even realize when they're reacting emotionally. They speak before thinking, act before processing, and regret it later. But when you start observing yourself, when you catch that moment right before you react, you create space for change. That space is where control begins. The second step is the pause. Whenever you feel an urge to react, stop. Take a deep breath. Let the moment pass. This simple act weakens the impulse and strengthens your self-discipline. Over time, the pause becomes automatic, and reacting emotionally stops being your first instinct. The third step is detachment. Train yourself to see things from a distance, as if you're watching from the outside. Instead of being caught up in emotions, observe them. Instead of being pulled into drama, step back. The less you personalize things, the less power they have over you. And the final step, mastering silence. Not everything needs a response. Not every battle is worth fighting. When you learn to walk away instead of reacting, you show true power. You show that you are in control, not your emotions, not other people, not the situation. This is how you train yourself to stop reacting, by becoming aware, by pausing, by detaching, and by embracing silence. The more you do this, the stronger you become. And one day you realize that nothing, no insult, no opinion, no situation has the power to shake you anymore. Most people believe that winning means fighting back, proving a point, or standing their ground. But the strongest response isn't always to engage, it's to walk away. Not out of weakness, but out of power. Walking away isn't giving up, it's choosing not to waste energy on things that don't deserve it. It's understanding that not every battle is worth fighting, that some situations, some people, and some arguments are simply distractions designed to pull you down. Weak people react to everything. They argue over nonsense. They let their egos trap them in endless conflicts. But strong people, they conserve their energy. They don't fight battles that won't matter in a week, a month, or a year. They understand that their time, focus, and peace of mind are too valuable to waste. When you walk away, you send a powerful message. I don't need to prove anything to anyone. And that shakes people, because they expect a reaction. They expect you to defend, explain, or engage. But when you refuse, when you simply move on, they are left powerless. This is why the most disciplined, most successful, and most respected people know when to stay silent and when to walk away. They don't let their emotions trap them in meaningless conflicts. They choose growth over ego, peace over drama, and self-mastery over reaction. Because in the end, the one who doesn't react, the one who doesn't engage, the one who simply walks away is the one who truly controls the game. The more you hold on to things, the past, opinions, grudges, the heavier your life becomes. Most people suffer not because of what happens to them, but because they refuse to let go. They replay the same mistakes in their minds. They hold on to anger. They seek closure that will never come. And in doing so, they keep themselves trapped. But the truth is, letting go is freedom. It's choosing peace over unnecessary suffering. It's refusing to let things that are outside of your control dictate your emotions. Because the moment you let go of what no longer serves you, you take your power back. Think about it. Every time you hold on to resentment, who suffers? Not the person who hurt you, not the situation that went wrong. You carry the weight of emotions that drain your energy and cloud your mind. But when you choose to release it, you free yourself from the chains that were never worth carrying in the first place. Letting go doesn't mean forgetting. It means deciding that your peace is more important than your pride. It means choosing to move forward instead of staying stuck in what could have been. And the more you practice this, the lighter you become. Because real control isn't about holding on, it's about knowing when to let go. And when you master this, nothing, not the past, not other people, not your own emotions, can hold power over you anymore. You become untouchable. At the core of everything, the reactions you control, the emotions you master, the silence you embrace, lies one simple truth. You are in charge of your life, not your emotions, not other people, not external events. You. Most people go through life as slaves to their impulses. They react without thinking. They let emotions dictate their decisions. They allow circumstances to determine their mindset. But those who rise above this, those who take full control, become unstoppable. Mastering yourself isn't about being perfect. It's about knowing that no matter what happens, you decide how you respond. Insults don't shake you. Criticism doesn't define you. Setbacks don't break you, because you have built a mindset that is unshakable. And here's the greatest secret of all. The less you react, the more control you have. The moment you stop letting external forces dictate your emotions, you become free. Free to think clearly, free to make the best decisions, free to focus on what truly matters. This is what separates those who lead from those who follow, those who thrive from those who struggle. The ability to remain calm, to control emotions, to move with intention instead of reaction. And once you master this, life changes. You no longer live at the mercy of the world, you become the master of it.